Amira and Hamza is a story about two siblings who get kind of drawn into this save the earth, save the world adventure, in which they are one day at their mosque. They are Islamic, and they are waiting for this astronomical event, which is a super blue blood moon. And the sister, her name is Amira, she's really kind of the science nerd, and the two of them are kind of arguing, and they end up touching this ancient artifact called the Box of the Moon, and it kind of sets into motion this ancient prophecy. The rest of the world actually falls asleep, and these genies appear and tell Amira and Hamza that it's going to be up to them to save the world from the evil that is out there. And they end up getting whisked away to this magical world called the Quaff, where they have to beat back the evil genie and the ghouls who are intent on taking over the world. If you like things like The Lightning Thief or mythology, you'd really enjoy this. And this one focuses on Islamic mythology. Very action-packed adventure. The Sea in Winter is the story of a young girl named Maisie who is a dancer. And that's really her whole life. That's what she does all the time. Her dance studio is kind of her sanctuary. And then she has an injury, and she tears her ACL, and it pretty much means the end of her dancing. It's an injury that she really just can't recover fully from. And she's really kind of suffering from some depression over this. She's not really thrilled when her parents decide that she needs to get away, and they end up taking a midwinter break and going to the village where her mom grew up. And it's there that she meets her grandpa and spends some quality time with him and learns more about her heritage, as well as learning what she's going to do now that her one dream of dancing is over. It's called The Sea in Winter. Another sports story. This one is another in the Gymnastics series called Gymnastics Payback. And this is about a girl named Mia and her gymnastic team, the Ridgefield Rams, who are coming back from a championship, and they're trying to do really well again. Unfortunately, they have a new coach, so they're a little bit off kilter because they're learning kind of their ways of coaching. But also somebody seems to be sabotaging their main rivals, and it's really tearing the Rams apart. And Mia realizes they're going to have to figure out who's doing this damage in order to stop it, so that they can move forward and just focus on the gymnastics. So it's a little bit of mystery as well as a gymnastics story. And then the last fiction one I'm going to talk about today, this one is called Constance and the Dangerous Crossing. This is part of the Girls Survive series. Really good read-alike if you like the I Survived historical fiction. Constance's family is gone, so she's an orphan. She lives in England, but she doesn't really think there's anything there for her anymore. So she agrees to go with her employer across the sea to America on the Mayflower, but the journey ends up being much more difficult than any of them expect, and she's not really sure that she's going to survive. So it's called Constance and the Dangerous Crossing. All right, let's look at some of the new graphic novels. The new one is called Death and Sparkles, and it's not easy being Death. It's really hard to make friends. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and it doesn't really help that anybody that you meet, if you touch them, you accidentally kill them. So Death is really kind of struggling, but then he meets Sparkles, and Sparkles is actually the last known unicorn, and she also is having a hard time making friends because it seems like all anybody wants from her is to take selfies and ask her to help them sell stuff. So when Death and Sparkles end up kind of starting this unlikely friendship, the world is kind of like, oh no, what happens, Death, if you hurt Sparkles, and vice versa. So this is a laugh out loud funny of two friends who you think, really, should they be friends at all, and end up being BFFs. So that's Death and Sparkles. This is the first in a series. There's a second one already planning to come out. I also have a new graphic novel version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So if you're a fairy tale fan and you like to read different versions, this is a new graphic novel version of an old favorite. I have two in the Gymnastics graphic novel series. This first one is called Wcmx Daredevil, and it's about a girl named Davlin who just got a new wheelchair that is going to allow her to do some extra stunts at the skate park. And she's really an adventurous type. She ends up going and trying a new stunt that fails, and she falls pretty hard, and she's trying to figure out if she can find the courage again to get back up and to try again. And then this one is called Fast Pitch Feud. It's about two sisters, Anya and Marina, who have always been this fantastic catcher-pitcher is it pitcher? Yeah, catcher pitcher duo. Unfortunately, they're just about to be on the same softball team, and Marina is kind of being a know-it-all, and Anya's getting kind of tired of it. And Marina, on the vice versa, doesn't think that Anya's taking the sport very seriously. And the two of them are going to have to figure out how they're going to be able to work together like they used to. So if you like softball, you probably would really enjoy this story. Tide